Hi guys, welcome to another video on the JayBee
Hey.
and Millie channel, and we are bringing you this week's episode of 5-Star Talk. So we are going to start off with a little bit of housekeeping. We are going to move on to some Animal Crossing speculations about the new update. We are going to take a minute to appreciate the return of Breaking Bells, and then as always we have that Q&A section for all the questions you guys have been sending in. So if we're making a start on the housekeeping, I have something, exciting that I kind of want to put out there. We are nearly like 50 subs away from hitting 1,000 subscribers, which is an absolute monumental milestone for us. And to celebrate that, we have released our next giveaway. We are going to be giving away 4 packs of Amiibo cards to one lucky winner, one from each series. It's all international, and we have a video detailing how you can enter that, and we're going to draw it as soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers so we can celebrate that with you guys. So if you're interested in that, if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, please go back to the channel and check out that video and subscribe and show some love so we can get that drawn. So JayBee, any more housekeeping you want to touch upon there?
No, I guess just a huge thank you on all the support that we received for our last episode on 5-Star Talk. Honestly, and I said this with no lightness, and I meant every word of it when I kind of said it is the most nervous I have been for an episode of 5-Star Talk since we recorded with Bobby the Nintendo Guru. And oh my gosh, it didn't the video didn't get too many views, the episode didn't get too many views, and I kind of know why, because a part of me was like, it was too different for regular 5-Star Talk listeners to go, oh, this is an episode that I must see, but it was also too, I guess, I don't know, I think it could have stood on its own apart from 5-Star Talk, but I don't know, it's it's neither here nor there. I'm just really proud of that episode, and thank you all so much for everyone that did watch it, because we did get some very, very nice comments and questions for the game developer that we interviewed, Ariel Knight. So huge thank you for that, and I guess that's all I have to say in terms of housekeeping, really.
Indeed. So JayBee, moving on to the Animal Crossing New Horizons update. So they were kind of leaving it a bit late this month, I think, when they announced what they were going to release. We normally get a trailer or something to hype it up. So there was a lot of speculation. People were getting a bit excited. So I think this is why it fell even more short, ultimately, I think, for me personally. We were watching speculation videos where people had literally dissected, ends and ends of codes, where they were discussing how there was coding for another building. There is coding for 2 more rooms in the museum. There was so much been speculated because it had been left so late. And ultimately, I think it's fair to say there was a lot of disappointment in the Animal Crossing community.
I mean, I think a major issue is, to be honest, and this is no shade to anyone we know, no one that we know does this, but a lot of content creators will just pump out daily videos of a big sign of Brewster there and like a big red arrow pointing towards the museum, like confirmed because of a data mine or confirmed due to this. And it annoys me so much because yes, we will hop on trends like within a 5-minute turnaround of that Lego Luigi reveal, we've reacted to it, we've uploaded it, we've given that to you guys. And I don't think this is morally wrong, because at the end of the day, speculation is pure fun. But I just kind of feel that when a lot of content creators are out there confirming Brewster because they were in another game, but just because it's good clickbait, I kind of feel like that lets the whole community down. But besides that, I do very much agree that this did fall short to the point where people actually got the name wrong for this update. They were thinking that, because I think before we were on update 1.9, people were almost going, okay, so then the next one is going to be update 2.0, which is going to be the next huge reveal one, but it's actually 1.10. So I think that's another reason why people are like, oh, so we're going to get nothing until it rolls over, and it could just be 1.99 and then 2. So.
And what makes this worse, okay, is everything you get is pretty much already in the game, except they've not rolled it over. So, for example, all these events happened last year, but it wasn't yet programmed that they would be there again the following year. So this just kind of removes a lot of hope in a way, because Nintendo said when Animal Crossing was released, yeah, we've got like 3 years worth of updates planned. It's going to be incredible. You know, something new for you every month, that kind of thing. And everyone was like, yeah, this is great. When in reality, it just literally appears that for them sometimes that's, okay, you remember these events that we did last year? Here's your update, you get them this year. When surely you'd expect that almost to be in the coding. And then what kind of adds a further concern onto that is if they've only said that they're going to do 3 years updates, how are they going to proceed from that if they're having to do an update every year to add them in? Is the game only going to last for as long as they continue to do updates? I think it does add a few problems, right, JayBee?
I mean, I don't know if it's stupidity or arrogance on Nintendo's part. It's one of them, though, I'll say that much. That they are starting to phase out time traveling to events, which at the start of the game I was all for, because it's like, yes, there's some exclusivity. Players at year 1 aren't going to get it much better than players who join in year 2, but there's going to be exclusives, a bit like Clash of Clans. Like, I was playing that for years and years and years before the channel, not playing it now, but literally we got a new kind of item that spawned into our level at the time, which was a 2013 Christmas tree. They never brought that back, but for 2014 players, there was a 2014 Christmas tree, and they could have done it like that, like, you know, here's this Bunny Day variant that's exclusive for this year, here's the next one. Again, it'd be a bit disappointing for people joining later on, but, you know, if it's a tradable item, if they can get it from friends, then that's absolutely fine. But because they've been phasing out time traveling, like, to events, it's ridiculous, because now we're in a situation where, you know, the phrase that initially got me so hyped when Nintendo were like, we've got, you know, updates coming for 3 years or 2 years for Animal Crossing. To me now it's, okay, we're going to delete all past ones so we can then hype it up. Like, you miss out on some of the Bunny Day items? Okay, well, don't worry, because we're bringing them back next year. Like, it's like a false sense of excitement. They're just catering to new players and it kind of feels like we're being left behind.
Here's where my issue is with this, okay? I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm in a bit of burnout at the minute, but I like the game, okay? And I want to keep going back to it. And if they've only got, they're like, oh yeah, 3 years of updates, 3 years of updates. After those 3 years, what's going to happen? If they're having to do an update to bring an event,
eventless game.
Yeah, what is that? You can't do that, surely.
I'm worried that they're going to try and sell time travel back to the community. Like, revisit Toy Day whenever you want. Pay 99p in the eShop. Not a huge amount, but I'm worried that they're going to start locking things behind paywalls and all sorts. Like,
oh, you want to see Toy Day? Travel back to 1953, which is when we last updated this game. Like, no.
And here's the thing. With the Switch's life cycle projected to be for years and years and years, if there's only updates for that time, do we think that they're going to release another Animal Crossing game so soon? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Like, ultimately, this is our first game, so I can't exactly give you the figures on this. But a lot of people who were big fans of the franchise before and had played all the games, you know, were saying that this was years and years in the making. Surely, to have 3 years of updates scheduled isn't enough time for them to go, okay, this is New Horizons, welcome to the jungle.
Yeah, like, oh. And here's the thing. We're obviously going to talk about this a bit later, like you've teased. But I think I heard something from Console Caito in the new Breaking Bells that really clicked it for me. And that was, okay, the wedding season is back. We know that that's been confirmed. We're getting new items. Now, the items that we could win before last year are the same items that we're going to be able to win if we do the wedding event this year. However, the new items that they're introducing are going to be available in Nook's Cranny. Now, like, I think Kato said that it would mean it would make such a difference to the community if that was flipped. So there was a reason to do the wedding season again with, you know, for those new items, and the people just coming in this year are able to purchase what we won last year. So it's always a rotation of what you can win and what you can't win. Because right now there's no reason for us to do wedding season. There's only a reason for us to go into Nook's Cranny every now and then.
Yeah, the only reason there is if we've been wanting more items. Like, I know, for example, we're a bit short on the wedding organs. We wanted one. It took us a while scraping through our accounts to find one. So I guess to that end, maybe we want to stock up a little bit. But Halves Island's already obsolete without the one event that actually makes it worthwhile just being a repeat without any new items.
I mean, it is concerning because I think it's getting to the point where the game is prioritizing new players for, rather than existing players, and you can kind of understand that, but it's got to a situation where I don't even feel that, and this is where I disagree with a lot of creators, that they are necessarily catering to new players, because first time around for us playing Animal Crossing, we had trailers to react to, things to hype up. Now they haven't had any trailers, not even a Rover's Back, or they didn't even re-upload the trailer that they gave us last year. It's just a drop on Twitter. And at the end of the day, unless you really invested in Animal Crossing, who's going to follow their Twitter account but us and the people that have played the game since early on? Like, if you've just picked up the game this late in the situation, or if you're a kid that's just managed to get hold of it for Christmas, I don't know how many of them will be following the official Twitter account for the game. They'll just be playing every day like it's normal, like usual.
Yeah.
So it's like they're half catering to people and half not. Like, they're trying to aim to please both of us, and they're not pleasing either of us.
Anybody.
And that's the issue. Now, a lot of people have issues with the new items. I actually really like them. Like the wedding bell.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it a lot. Similarly with the kind of fish flag thing, I really like that. But we've still not done the Mayday maze. And I don't think I will.
Do you know what? Like, I don't know if it's burnout I'm getting with Animal Crossing or something, but I just feel their updates are flops right now. Like, the prom thing, okay? They had these items, you go to the Able Sisters, you can pick up some dresses. And yeah, that's nice, you get some new items, but what do you do with them? What does that have in the game? Did I miss something? Was there a date where it was like, oh yeah, all the villagers are going to meet at resident services, it's prom, they're all going to be there in suits and dresses, it's an actual event? Or is it just Nintendo just drip feeding us new items under some marketing movement of, oh yeah, these are prom related items?
Yeah, it does seem that way. It's like, there's nothing to be excited for.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, there's a lot of people in the community that are very, very disappointed in this. But it's getting to a point where, like, are content creators just going to become fake? And that's one thing that I've pledged myself to not do. Like, you guys know when we're bored with Animal Crossing. Like, if you go back on our channel, we have had a whole spell where it went from a huge Minecraft series into a huge 3D World plus Bowser's Fury series. And you guys know we don't fake.
Like JayBee says,
uploads.
we aren't going to fake anything. We upload what we want to upload when we want to upload it. If we're wanting to play a certain game, if there's something new coming out, we're playing that, we're uploading that. And I will honestly, like, hand on heart here, sit here and tell you, other than to do a giveaway and to record an island tour or a speed build, I haven't played Animal Crossing just for fun since February when I did my Valentine's Day Island.
I mean, I've been playing a lot more than that.
But
to be honest,
yeah.
Like, I've been working on some things
But
in my
may I
house
ask,
area and stuff.
If that is for Animal Crossing, okay, so is that because you're like, oh yeah, there's these amazing items in Animal Crossing right now, I want to try and get, like, they've done this prom update, I want to sign in every day to, like, go to Abel's and get these items? Or is it because you're trying to move an islander off the island?
None of it was prom. Very rarely it's to try and get the mermaid wall. It's to kind of try and tweak some Mario items, but yeah, primarily it's like content.
Yeah, it's content. It's not for the game in itself anymore.
But it's a situation where it's undeniable that the videos on our channel that get the most views are Animal Crossing videos. So, and I feel like that's the case for a lot of content creators. A lot of content creators that we know, that we're aware of, are getting bigger views, better views on Animal Crossing videos, and they're consistently making Animal Crossing videos for that fan base, and I love that, and I am still very much passionate about doing island tours and content surrounding Animal Crossing, even if I'm not gonna do too many speculation videos about updates, which I feel like we would have done before. At least we can't by nature do any update videos if there's nothing to talk about with the update. But it's kind of like, if people watching YouTube are still more interested in Animal Crossing videos, but there's very little to talk about, are we just going to get all of our friends that play Animal Crossing just gritting and bearing it? And I kind of don't want that, to be honest. Because I feel that some people are trapped in a box of playing Animal Crossing.
I mean, like, please let us know in the comments down below at this point, because I think this is a genuine debate. Do you feel like you're getting more burnout from Animal Crossing? Do you feel that it's still just as good as it ever was?
I mean, do people prefer watching it than playing it? I don't know. It is tricky, because I just sit here and wish that some of our other videos were getting more views in comparison to Animal Crossing. Because people can argue, like, even though your name doesn't have crossing or animal or ACNH or whatever in the title, you guys did kind of start out as an Animal Crossing channel. But if you look back, we didn't. Our first ever video was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. We were doing Mario Mashup Mondays.
Our first video that ever really took off was a book review.
Yeah, and even then, our most viewed video for the longest time was a Mario Origami Folding and then Mario Kart Home Circuit. So it's not like we've come from Animal Crossing. But again, it's just so difficult, because I feel like if we can't branch away from Animal Crossing, being so obviously just a variety Nintendo channel, then I very much feel sorry for the friends that we know that have built their community on Animal Crossing. I feel like a lot of them that we know have built up a nice group of people that will watch whatever they do, which I really like. But I'm just so scared, because if Nintendo are killing Animal Crossing, then that's almost a community that's going to be at a loss.
I almost feel sorry for Build-A-Bear right now, because they've just spent money investing in starting an Animal Crossing range at the time that Nintendo have started to, like, drop off with updates. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like there's no communication between the two of, okay, we're going to launch, like, what updates do you have coming up? Okay, that's going to be a big time when everyone's, like, buzzing about Animal Crossing again. Let's drop it then. Let's drop these new, like, Build-A-Bear products then. So it correlates.
But also, people criticise Build-A-Bear so much for their limited range. But
what
you know what?
Nintendo's limited updates. Where is this?
Looking back at the last month or so, the Build-A-Bear has been the most hyped I've been for anything Animal Crossing related for a while.
Yeah.
That's what I will say. I'll say that much. Especially with the potential of this new character being KK Slider, which I just think will be amazing. But yeah, I guess that's the issue. But one thing I do want to say is this isn't like a fear-mongering podcast, this is the end, this is it now. Because at the start, I think it was a bit slow as well. So there was that monumental leaf update that gave the hedges. And I kind of feel that we did get that update equivalent in the new custom designs, which people were asking for so long. Those kind of cardboard cutouts, which so many people have been making boats, buses, walls, separate little dens.
Yeah.
Just maybe we didn't personally utilize it. So I feel like we had that monumental design update. It's just a case of waiting now to see if the game has been forgotten about.
My question is there some almost false misrepresentation on the part of Nintendo in that they were like selling this game with all these years worth of updates, but if there's nothing new, can you classify that as an update?
I guess to a point, because it's changing what you can access, because but again, I think it's falsely manipulated. Like, if they're taking something away that people could access before and then bringing it back to you, there's an argument that isn't new. It's not new, but I think it's definitely an update in terms of, logic, like classification.
Like, if something gets taken away from you, Like, say, you've been in trouble with, like, your parents or something, and they're like, okay, well, confiscating this for a week. It's not like some celebratory update when you get it back. You have the belief that it was yours to begin with. You've bought the game from Nintendo. You believe that you've bought into the events that come with that game. Not that you're supposed to be grateful when they've taken them away from you and then decide to return them in a way.
I get that, but I'm not the right person to talk to about that, I don't think. Because I was very much a defender of the Pokemon franchise when they like kind of cut out the national dex. Even though it was at the cost of my favourite Pokemon, if they did do an update, like pay £5 and all like the Pokemon that aren't available now are available, I'd be jumping for joy. And you could say that about a lot of things. Like, this is probably our first experience with this versus someone that played New Leaf that's going, oh my gosh, a new Animal Crossing game. Oh, but in hindsight, I have to wait this long to hear about Jack, this long to hear about Parvey. Oh, Leaf isn't even in this until later on. Oh, well, where's Red? Red was a big part of this. So I kind of feel that maybe this is the time that us New Horizons players are experiencing a bit of what, old players experience coming into New Horizons.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I just feel that Nintendo know at this point how big the Animal Crossing scene is, and perhaps we have been spoiled as Animal Crossing players, constantly expecting updates, because if think back to any other game, though, it isn't our fault, but think back to any other game, this has been the most updates we've had for a game that we like playing.
But it's what they told us from day one. Like, it's not like the community. Okay, so I understand that maybe there's been a bit more dependency on the game because of COVID and all that kind of thing. I, for one, had a huge dependency on the game during that time. But, like, if Nintendo hadn't said, oh yeah, we are going to have monthly updates for the next 3 years, we wouldn't have been sat there on the 26th of April going, okay, we've not had a trailer yet. Why haven't we had a trailer yet? They told us that that's what you were going to get, so it's what we expect. It's, for all it's, more updates than you've had with any other game, it's because they've said they're going to provide that, and they need to, and in my opinion, what they've done this month doesn't class as an update. It's like, if they were running short of ideas and they were like, okay, let's remove the museum from the island for a month and then bring it back. Bringing it back to me wouldn't be an update. It would be fixing a mistake. Like patching as opposed to an actual full update.
Yeah, it's very hard to disagree with that, because in essence that's what we've got.
It's like a patch. It's like, oh no, we programmed it wrong. These events aren't recurring. We need to patch it so they're going to keep happening every year. To me, that's what it appears to be. It doesn't appear to be an update. To me, an update is something new happening.
Yeah.
A patch is fixing a problem.
Like for time travelers,
it's fixing
that's
a problem.
Correct, and for non-time travelers, it's just business as usual. But again, they have given us new items for these updates, but then if every update is just going to be like, let's think about how they've done.
Easter egg hedge. Like, okay, like, I don't know. Like, for Easter, all they changed was you got 5 new items. Imagine if that was it for the wedding season. You get 5 new items that you can buy in Abel's Sisters. It's like...
well, that looks what it's like. So it's like, are we going to get 5 new Toy Day items, 5 new Jack items, 5 new Parvey items, 5 new Franklin items? And
this might make me sound a bit stupid, but what on earth is happening that makes, our Switch need to update for 30 minutes every time there's a new update for us to get 5 new toys? To get a hedge, a tree, and a bunny at Bunny Day? Like, what is it that takes that amount of time? Like, I don't mind sitting there and updating the game for half an hour, but why if I'm only going to get 3 items? It just doesn't seem that you're getting anything. And I just think it's like bad marketing, bad practice at this point. Like, it is almost falsification, and you are selling a product that's not actually what it says it is, which is 3 years worth of updates, when in fact it's, oh yeah, here's some software, but we haven't fully kind of finished it, so we're going to need to update it next year. And that's what I mean by we're updating it for 3 years, in that we're just going to give you the same things, but we're just going to make you download it again.
I'm just disappointed with how different I feel about the game. Like, I've literally just been like flashed back to a past moment in the channel when we recorded with Beardo Benjo, and he was doing like regular, like monthly, here's what's leaving in October, here's what's coming back in October, like every month.
Oh my gosh, you kind of need one of those now, don't you? Here's what's leaving. You'll no longer be able to travel back to Bunny Day. Let's hope we update it in the next 3 months so you can in the future.
You know what I mean? And he was really excited because he was like, soon I won't need to do any more of these videos because like we're going to have gone through all the monthly animals and bugs and stuff. And you literally said, well, knowing Animal Crossing, they're going to add in another category. And I burst out laughing because I was like, that's so true. There probably is going to be another category. And looking back now, it's like, is there? Probably not. And it's just that
they
twist.
Added more sea creatures in that update than they have items since that point. Other than, okay, the Sanrio thing. The Sanrio thing was great. This is just bringing up an old argument though. The Sanrio thing, I get that was a good update, but they didn't print enough Amiibo cards, so barely anybody who wanted to benefit from that update has been able to.
I mean, I would be very happy with just simple extensions. So no Brewster, no new NPC, no huge Disneyland update. Just open up a room in the museum and add in 2 new bugs, 2 new fish, 2 new deep sea creatures every month. And you know what? I'm happy. There's a reason for me to play the game. Maybe it's a bit short-lived, but there's a reason for me to want to get through different days, go underwater. And I would be happy because I love going around the museum, and seeing new things in the museum to me would be more than enough entertainment for a good while. So I don't think, at least not me personally, I'm not asking for an update tomorrow where you can download texture packs like Minecraft, where you can go into this ultra god mode where you can get 5 islands and deck them all out in Hello Kitty things, and they're going to collaborate with Legend of Zelda, and we can make Hyrule, and it's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy. It's just, please, I want some new fish, some new bugs. For the love of KK Slider, just maybe a new KK Slider song. Just some new collectibles that make the game seem fresh again.
Or even, okay, how about an update where you can build 2 more staircases and 2 more bridges on your island?
Yes.
People can shuffle their islands around. There's people who, for their dream addresses have had to drop ladders and things, and they can't communicate their island the way they want to. Just something small like that would give some people stuff to think about. As opposed to, oh yeah, I might get this dress from Abel's, but ultimately I have more clothes on Animal Crossing than I do in real life, so I don't think I'm going to need any more.
No. And it's just, like, what is it? Like, was Animal Crossing just a good time? Like, for the community, for the world? Are we getting to a point where so many people are going back to work, so many people have kind of, either stopped caring about rules and regulations to the point where they feel that they don't need Animal Crossing anymore because they've got the world back? I don't know, but again, if there wasn't an obvious, in terms of my own perspective now, if there wasn't such an obvious rise in views whenever it's an Animal Crossing video, then that, it's like Twitter's telling us that Animal Crossing is dead, YouTube's telling us that Animal Crossing is the most relevant thing we're doing, and so when all we can see is negativity coming from stuff in terms of the world, like Animal Crossing's dead, no new updates, content creators complaining, and yet it's still bringing in the most attention. It's like, well, what is it? And that's my kind.
I mean, I think ultimately I can answer that. I think when you look at Animal Crossing content, especially our content, because we only really do island tours, you're always seeing something new. People's complaint on Twitter at the minute is there's nothing new. There's no new updates, there's no new anything. And so to that end, maybe that's the reason why our Animal Crossing content's doing better at the minute, is because they're searching YouTube to find something new, to find something different that other people are doing that they can maybe incorporate. Like with the island tours that we do, people are watching them because it's like, okay, well, if Animal Crossing aren't giving me anything new, I'm going to have to externally source something new, like a new concept or a new idea that someone else has created.
See, I do get that, and that's why I'm always, I think, going to be passionate about island tours. Because at the end of the day, let's not kid ourselves, the best thing about Animal Crossing has never been its actual content in itself. It's always been the community, what people can make, what people can think of. And that's one thing that I have never been bored of. Like, doing island tours, we've done like 150 now, and I'm still finding things that I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't think of that. Or, like, oh my gosh, I've never thought that was possible. So if they release 2 new items, someone's going to do something amazing with it. And that's what's keeping me like going back to the game, is knowing that, oh, that's going to be great. Someone really creative and talented is going to find a whole island based off that. I think the best part is that creative aspect of it. And honestly, I think we do like, I'm not going to say we do the best island tours. Like, I don't make the best thumbnails. I don't think I personally have the best commentary. But I feel like the islands that we've visited have been, so far, they've been the best of the community. Like, I think we've visited the most amazing islands so far. I love them so much. But I think you're right. Maybe people just go to island tours to look for what they can do, or if like someone sees a Hello Kitty inspired island tour or a Doctor Who inspired island tour, they're gonna go, okay, well, what do I like? I like John Wick. I like Star Wars. Maybe I should make a whole island themed off that. And so to that end, I think you might be correct. But for me personally, I'm just getting a bit torn with it all.
I'm too, and I was thinking what you were saying there about, oh, well, you know, if somebody at least will have done something with those new items. I remember talking to TJ Burns when they first came on this podcast, and it was nearly Christmas, and the day for the jingle event was the 24th of December, and he was like, you know, I've got a fiance, I've got family, I am not going to be spending my Christmas Eve on Animal Crossing taking presents around the island. You know, I'm going to have to do it a different day. I don't have an option but to time travel. And if they're patching events so you can't travel back to them, what are people meant to be doing? Because you physically can't. Like, okay, so one thing that came to my mind as well when JayBee was saying that is Festival. We went to, I think it was the first kind of Disney, like Disneyland island that we went to with the castle and things, and they recreated the Disney parade with the Festival floats. But that event in itself was, if you wanted to get that stuff, you were going all day with a net. And it's like, not everybody has the time to do that. And then to patch the event so you can't travel back to it, you can't travel forward to it until you get a new update. It is so constricting.
But I would have forgiven that if they gave us DIYs, which they didn't. Yeah. We didn't even get DIYs for the festival stuff.
And not only that, but to customise the festival stuff, you need the feathers that, again, you can only get on that specific day. Yet Nintendo are insisting that after a couple of months, it's, yep, let's put a big patch over that. They're not going back to that till we give them the next update, which we, you know, have told them they can expect. Oh, except they're not going to get anything new, which is what they're expecting. We're just going to give them the same old stuff.
It doesn't seem right, to be honest. It doesn't. No. I don't know. I guess that's just our opinion. I know a lot of people are still mad for the game, and I don't think I see myself getting bored of island tours and builds, to be honest. I think builds are still very much going to be a part of what I like to see, and we've got some crazy Animal Crossing content coming up, like I don't want to like spoil things, but we literally have done an Animal Crossing video revolving so far around a tin of alphabet spaghetti. We've also got a amazing Islander hunt coming up, so there is still stuff coming. But in terms of just base Animal Crossing game, I'm feeling very.
Right now, it's just for the content. Like, we're just finding fun in entertaining you guys. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for you, I think Animal Crossing would be on the shelf collecting dust right now.
That isn't like to suggest that what we're making is like stuff with a fake smile.
No,
we've managed to find fun videos to make that we're gonna love making, but like it is literally just bringing alphabet spaghetti to make it fun, and not just here's like a decorating video, or here's the top 10 custom designs that you can use on your island right now, hashtag 2021 edition. Like, yeah, I don't think you'll be seeing any of that at any time soon.
No, seriously not. Anyway, there is still some good stuff happening in this community, as JayBee has mentioned. Today, well, as of recording, it was today, we saw the return of Breaking Bells with the incredible HollyCrossing and Console Caito. Now, we are so happy that they have been able to relight that amazing Breaking Bells series. It was certainly so refreshing to see that back when it premiered today. We were just so happy to see that. As JayBee has mentioned, they were, touching on some very relevant Animal Crossing topics. Some beautiful things in there as well. It was incredible to see that return.
Yeah, and they did, please go watch that. I'll link that in the description down below. But logically, anyone listening to this will have already listened to that episode. But they had such a great tribute to Bobby the Nintendo Guru in that. And I always feel terrible for never mentioning it on the channel, just because we'd done the island tour so that we could raise awareness. There was the link to the GoFundMe in the description of that. But then it's kind of like when things happened how they did, it's like, how do you do that? Do you jump on it and announce it and upset people, or does it seem like you're just hopping on a trending topic, which is obviously disgusting considering the kind of loss? But I always felt terrible for not addressing it, so I guess this is me addressing it. But yeah, I guess it is a massive shame about Bobby. But I think stuff like the revival of Breaking Bells is how to keep that legacy alive, and I feel that he wouldn't have preferred it if it was it's literally the best two people that Bobby would have wanted to continue it, because it's their long-time collaborator on the podcast. And also Console Caito, he literally shouted Caito out before she'd hit 100 subscribers, and now she's flying high, 500,000 plus subscribers. She's recently relaunched some merch, and I cannot wait for ours to arrive.
And that merch is something else that we want to talk to you about on this channel. So, as JayBee said, not only did Breaking Bells give that absolutely stunning tribute to the Guru, the merch they have released as of that Breaking Bells episode also is a gorgeous tribute. The new Breaking Bells kind of logo, the bell bag, has Guru written inside it, and on all the merch that is printed with his name there. So obviously that is absolutely stunning, and for those reasons JayBee and I were very, very quick to get our order in, and I've got a t-shirt, JayBee's got himself a hoodie, and honestly, as their success grows and the collection is increased, we just place another order and another order to keep showing support with that, because honestly Guru was incredible. We still have our Gaming for Guru poster up on the wall. JayBee still enjoys his coffee out of the Gaming for Guru mug.
I do kind of want to retire that, because I just know that because obviously, we're not sat here pretending like we were Bobby's best friend, that we spoke every day. But he, literally, in the conversation that we had with them, they had so much nice things to say about us without him telling me that I shouldn't be scared about reaching out to people. We never would have done that, indie developer interview last week. Hand on heart, we never would have done that. I would have been too scared to reach out.
And you know what,
so
I honestly...
they've affected us quite a lot, but I just know that if I dropped that mug and it broke, I'm crying. I legit, I'm crying.
I honestly don't even think we'd put out half the content that we do if it wasn't for Bobby, because I don't know, JayBee's a lot more involved with the channel than me. I sit here and I record, so I seem like I do just as much, but I really don't. He does the tags, he sees the statistics, I just see the content that's created. And I think, because we have an agreement that he predominantly does the YouTube stuff, I predominantly do the work stuff, and we catch each other up in between. And so just seeing the numbers, I think, affects JayBee a little bit sometimes. Not in a bad way, this isn't me digging you out here, but I just feel quite often, especially in the last month or so, I found myself kind of saying to him, come on, you always told me how grateful you were for what he said to you, you're not thinking straight right now. Like, you know, they did this for so long, they were so motivated, and they cared so much about the community, hence why it was such a beautiful thing just been in any one of his streams or anything like that. Like, don't tell me, don't sit here and tell me that you're not uploading because it won't get views.
Yeah,
don't say that to me.
I do admit I do feel disgusting sometimes. Like, I'm sat here wearing the Gaming for Guru thing, and you know what? I actually feel like I've said that for the last 2-3 podcasts we've done. It's like wearing the Gaming for Guru t-shirts and hoodies have become like my go-to podcasting t-shirt. Like, I guess in memory, personally, you can't see it, but I just love it. But sometimes I just feel disgusting because, you know, one thing he said was don't focus on numbers, like just do what makes you happy and the subscribers will come. And it's like he put out such good quality content for 5-6 years, consistently uploading, and, you know, obviously I don't think any of them ever ballooned to, like, you know, millions of views or anything, but literally such resilience. And then I'm just like, oh, this only got this amount of views. Like, I'm nervous to put another one out, and it's like, well, who am I to say that? Especially after everything. And I do feel disgusting sometimes, but I don't know. I'm an awkward turtle.
Anyway, the point we were getting at there, guys, is Breaking Bells. It is incredible to see your return. We are so grateful to Holly and Caito for bringing it back.
And also, not just that.
Also, do you know what? Just for doing it in the most respectful way as well.
Yeah, I was
like, it wasn't
that.
just a case of, okay, well, it's still weekly uploads, all that kind of thing. Like, I just feel like it was so well thought out. There was a certain amount of time, almost that maybe everyone needed to some extent, and when it did come back, it just had that beautiful tribute in the episode, the gorgeous tribute of the logo, of the merch, all that kind of thing. And honestly, you know, I think they were both incredibly strong to do that first episode back, and we respect you a lot.
Someone said this in the chat. I have no way of verifying it, so I do apologise to Holly and Caito if this is a misrepresentation, but someone said in the live stream that apparently someone had reached out to Bobby's family, or Bobby's family had, like, given their blessing for that Revive series to come out. So again, if it's true, that is fantastic. But not only that, Caito literally said at the start, any super chat, any donation, any monetary gain from that episode is either going to go directly to Bobby's GoFundMe campaign, or if Bobby's family no longer wants that active, no longer wants, you know, money into that to cover things, because I'm sure that it is still, you know, a large amount, that they're going to actively donate it to some type of COVID-19 relief charity. And I just think that that's incredible, because there's just some garbage people that, like, made videos about it and just pocketed all the money that people were, like, giving them. Obviously not mentioning names, but there's people there that just profited from it. And just the fact that Caito and Holly just made the conscious decision that even if the GoFundMe wasn't active, that they're going to donate it to COVID-19, like, relief. I just think that that's fantastic. I love it. I love it a lot.
Yeah, and I'm just so grateful to them for bringing it back. But just in such a nice way. Like, honestly, Holly has made so much incredible and Caito as well has made such incredible content with Guru over the years that, like you said, they were the right two people.
Definitely. Like, oh my gosh, like Caito is gonna hit 100,000, and they're gonna get that, like, YouTube plaque, and oh my gosh, it's just great, isn't it? It's like,
yeah,
you know, Bobby is Iron Man, and
you know what?
Now Spider-Man's just there, like, doing. Oh,
Guru, thanks to, you know, Caito and Holly, Guru is at least gonna have his name on 100,000 subscriber channel. Because when Caito inevitably hits that number, you know, the Guru's name is on Breaking Bells still, on that little bell bag. They are still going to have made it that far.
Like, and it's just a great thing, because, like, what did they have to gain at the end of the day from reviving Breaking Bells? Like, and it's kind of harsh to say, like, it's a very good and beloved show, but I think an important thing to take away is Caito especially, you know, I know Holly's doing a lot on Twitch, but I think Cato's stayed more with YouTube. But in terms of the YouTube scene, the cold fact is that Caito didn't need Breaking Bells at all, and yet the respect to bring it back again is like, you know, when you're watching it, it's made with, you know, passion and care, and just
because
and just
it's
heart.
not you saying, you know, she didn't need it. We say that as a looking at views kind of thing. You know, that's if you're not considering the human behind the channel. There could be something in her heart that was like, yeah, I need this, and to that end, you know, maybe she did, but also it's again just done so respectfully. It's so nice, and there wasn't two better people to do this.
And I guess kind of last thoughts on Breaking Bells is another thing is that I feel like it would have been not very easy, but very expected to just make a Nintendo Guru Bobby video where they just spoke about Bobby and the Nintendo Guru. But just looking back at how passionate Bobby was about content creation, the fact that there was that touching tribute at the start and at the end, but primarily it focused in the middle sections on speculating about Animal Crossing, talking about Animal Crossing. I feel like that is the most fitting way to go about it.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like I'm going too deep here, because like I feel like what I'm about to say I almost don't have a right to say because I didn't know them well enough to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. From the conversations that we had with them, I almost feel that the way that was done was very them. Like, the first podcast we did with them, you know, we were just so grateful to them. We were being so nice and so polite that they actually turned around at some point and just said, look, just stop complimenting me. You need to stop doing this. Like, let's see this as level. And I almost feel like if it had just been a full episode about them, they'd have reached a point when they'd have just been thinking, no. Like, I feel like they didn't like too much of people kind of glorifying them and pointing out, you know, all the niceness that they did and all this kind of thing. So I don't know. It just was so incredible. Like JayBee said, this is kind of the last thing that we want to say in it, really, but it was just all done so well. And again, just incredible from Holly and Caito.
Yeah, and just going a bit off that, you know, like we say, not only has Caito done some amazing Breaking Bells merch, but also like the Buy Balloon stuff. We just can't wait for all that to arrive.
Which again is on its way.
Like,
it's incredible.
That's exciting. So to end up, huge respect to both Holly and Caito, because it was phenomenal.
Yeah, certainly YouTube icons for us. Like, certainly inspiration, and we just appreciate both of you very, very much.
Well, very well said. Very well said. So I guess
that kind of moves us on to the final Q&A section. So again, thank you so much to everybody that has sent in questions to us this week. If you have any questions you'd like us to answer, you can reach out to us. And when I say us, I mean JayBee's just been incredible at the minute. I've got exams, but he is like, you know, still on it for everything. So he will be there to take your questions on either Twitter, Instagram, or our YouTube comment section, and we'll make sure to answer them in the next video. Again, thank you so much for the support, guys. So JayBee, the first question.
So this is one that I'm going to remain anonymous as usual unless specified otherwise, or abundantly obvious, like, you know, Mario Maker questions. But
hey, Jason.
Oh, it's Jason. We got all of Jason though. So the first question we got anonymously was, not sure if this has been asked, but what gave you the push to do content creation?
Okay, so I don't know why I always answer these first. Maybe I'm a bit self-centered. For me, it was JayBee. JayBee was doing YouTube long before I met them, maybe under a different name or something, but they knew about content creation, and I think they had this friend that reached out to them and was like, okay, you know, let's maybe do a podcast again together. We've not done that for a while, and I think that almost was the start of JayBee taking the name JayBee and doing something with that. And I feel like they always thought that I wouldn't get it. They always tried to like do their content when I was out or busy, until one day I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit in the room with you. And I just took inspiration, and that's when I just joined in. And then As JayBee said earlier in the video, we just started off doing Mario Kart and stuff like that we enjoyed really doing together. The channel, I think, took shape if we were looking at inspiration. You know, we used to watch quite a few HollyCrossing videos, that kind of thing. But ultimately, for me, JayBee was definitely the front and centre of YouTube.
Yeah, I guess in terms of content creation, like, and I've spoken about this, not directly in terms of, like, what motivated me to start making content, but definitely I had a need to do a podcast at some point, because I'd really admired the Pokemon podcast, PKMN Cast, run by Steve Black Jr., and I've been listening to that for years and years and years now, to the point where I actually wanted my own Pokemon podcast back in the day. Like, I made the visual for it.
Yeah.
It's on a yellow piece of card. I printed out a picture of Empoleon, and literally at the time got like a little iPod photo and put the iPod in Empoleon's flipper, and that was just it was just called JayBee's podcast, and that was gonna be it.
That's so cute.
So I've always wanted to do a podcast. I've always been interested in podcasting, and now literally it's a bit surreal, just like knowing that this is episode 30 of a podcast that I'm, you know, kind of co-hosting. I'm just really happy with that. But there wasn't really a push to content create, really. Like, I don't know, like, looking back at the first one we uploaded in terms of recording that first Mario Kart video, I don't know what compelled me to do that. Like, I just thought, oh, this might be fun. I guess we're going into lockdown, this is alright. And then progressing to I don't know. I genuinely couldn't tell you what was the birth of this channel. I can take it back and go, if I wasn't so into Pokemon, I never would have got a Nintendo Switch. Thus, the channel wouldn't be here. Or if it wasn't for the COVID-19 lockdown, we wouldn't have tried Animal Crossing or anything.
Yeah.
So that was the birth of the channel. But I really can't
There was a
say.
lot of factors that needed to be in place, but I can't think of a triggering event. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I don't even know what the triggering event was for our first island tour, because I remember like it was yesterday. It's one of my most important memories on the channel, staying up late because we wanted to do island tours. We put a post on Twitter out when we had 2 followers, so of course no one was going to reply like, can we please tour someone's island? We reached out to some IRL people that weren't interested, but literally I did
Then
the key words: capture card, Animal Crossing, or Animal Crossing Island Tour, and literally
We found Annalise.
Annalise commented on their Animal Crossing Twitter account, I wish I could do an island tour video, but I don't have a capture card. And literally, if it wasn't for me staying up to find that message, to reach out to them, like, we may not have done anything. Like, we could have just done a few Mario videos without a capture card, got fed up, and just left it like that. Like, that could have been it. Oh, and you know what?
Do you know what?
I think I'd go as far to say that was the push. Finding that first island tour of Annalise changed everything.
And do you know what? Like, to this day, like, honestly, again, as of recording this, was it last night, the night before? We were up having a games night with Annalise and some of the other people that we've toured. And, like, yeah, that, I don't know, it was certainly, they were certainly the start, and they're
Like,
still
that
here,
tunes
and
so
I think that's quite
much.
important.
Like, literally, yeah, just the fact that it could have just been, can we, and this has happened, and obviously, like, it's normal, it's not like a thing that I'm longing to find a new really good friend every time we reach out to someone for a tour, but literally, so many other people that we've just toured, you know, we try and send them items and stuff, but that's it. But the fact that that first island tour meant so much, it changed everything, and that we're still, like, doing games nights with them, like, I don't know, I just think that when I look back on the channel, like, if we couldn't upload anymore, that would be, like, the one kind of shifting point that makes me go, this is it, this is the moment that birthed JayBee and Millie as we know.
And do you know what,
it.
even then, I don't remember the triggering event of us being like, oh yeah, do you know what? Let's start hosting, like, let's start having games nights with, like, this, like, group of people that we've island toured, like,
No,
that we kind of formed a
right.
friendship
It
with.
just kind of
I don't
happens.
remember the triggering event for that either. It all is just, there was just factors in place.
I think
and
I
stuff
do.
evolved.
I think I might. I think it might have been Scurvy's Halloween board game.
Maybe.
I'm thinking maybe, but I don't know.
There's just so much that has just been right with the channel that has just happened naturally, and I think we're very lucky.
Because I think after the Halloween board game, we recorded that, and then afterwards, because it was when, you know, like we had an empty house, and literally for a whole half an hour to an hour after recording that video,
We just sat and talked.
and talked with them on like the upstairs couch
Oh,
for
gosh,
that
yeah.
time, and it was kind of like, oh yeah, we should do this again, maybe, like we should try another game off camera and stuff, and it was just
Was that the
great.
first time?
Well, obviously, like we'd spoken to them, you know, in the podcast separately. We'd also, you know, because obviously they were actors in each other's island tours. But looking back at it, I
Gosh.
think that was the first time that we ever all hopped into like a Discord call or a Nintendo Switch call together. And then from there it was like, oh yeah, we should do this again. And
I don't know. I just like spending time with them so much that it felt like it had been so much longer that we'd kind of been friends with them.
you're like, honestly,
Gosh.
this is so sad to admit, but oh my gosh, that group, I think I have more affection for them than most people I've met IRL. Like, I've not really...
Honestly, you
had-
speak to them more than you do your parents.
I mean, maybe.
and you live with them.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, huge. This has been a mad tangent, but
Much love.
Again, though, we don't have a massively high sub count, but I feel that we have gained more from this channel than it will ever take away.
I think
like
we've-
that.
I think we've gained a lot more than 950 subs from this.
Yeah, we've gained a heart. We're like the Grinch. I'm like the Grinch. My heart's grown like 4 sizes. Whoa, why are you making fun of me? I'm the Grinch. I'm gruff. But yeah, fun time. So, that was that question. Now, this is clearly Jason.
Hey, Jason.
And, okay. So, this is Jason on Mario Maker Mondays. So, their first question that they asked is, World 4 Castle was pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
World 5 Castle was quite decent. What are your initial thoughts on the looming World 6 Castle? There are 2 paths. 1, a risky path, where a key isn't needed. And 2, a safe path where the keys are needed. Am I pushing you into a false sense of hope? Now, Jason, it's anyone that listens to every video, so maybe just me, knows that this guy is my worst enemy. He's my arch nemesis now. I think he's trying to put me into some type of crazed anxiety fit every time
He makes you
submits
cry
something.
every Sunday night when you're recording ready for Monday.
Every Sunday. So literally right after this premieres, Jason's got me in tears. But I will say, I very much feel like I'm being lulled into a false sense of security because...
They seem to have got easier.
Yeah, episode 1 and 2, I was raging, I was crying, I was like, how do I do this? And then the other castles come along, and I'm like, okay, this is good, that's logical, that makes sense. To a point where I feel like either Jason's run out of ideas, which I don't think he has, or I'm getting better, which may be a factor, or it literally is just a case of...
My brain working things out for you.
I think I'm in for it this time. I think it's going to be like an hour-long video, and I'm not happy. I think we are being pushed into a false sense of hope.
Make sure you check that out tomorrow on the channel, guys.
Okay, so then...
And wish JayBee good luck for recording after this.
Yeah, GG. So, the next question is... What do you think to this now revealed fact that the next castle levels may be more elaborate puzzles? In this regard, I recommend exploring rooms fully. Example, World War 4 Castle had that snake block that kept on disappearing until Millie made the theory that it had just finished its path. And World 5 Castles had puzzles on proximity with the claw that kept on dropping the bob-arm. So in terms of puzzles, I feel that as long as I've got Millie recording with me, I should be fine.
See, here's where I think it's really interesting, is the puzzles are the bit that I love. I can watch it, I can work it out eventually. JayBee gets a little bit impatient. He doesn't like it. Like, you know, like the times in the first 2 levels when I was like, okay, let's just count the lava. Let's count how long it takes for it to go down. And JayBee's like, I don't want to stand and count lava. I'm not doing this. And I'm quite a lot more logical. So I feel like I'm going to have a lot of fun. I just need to get JayBee under control at this point.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing,
Because I can understand the theory, I just can't do the controls. Whereas I think JayBee can do controls, but sometimes gets a bit too hot-headed when the lava rises.
Yeah, definitely very hot-headed when my head is submerged in the lava and the game over screens in my face. Oh my gosh, Jason, you are the bane of my existence, but I really do appreciate that you've reached out to us to do these levels. Like, deep down, even though every episode I'm telling you how much I despise your existence, deep down I actually am very grateful. Very much grateful. And that's the thing though. It's definitely unlocked a new side of me that I actually really like showcasing on the channel. Because Animal Crossing, you can't really get stressed out about the actual nuanced gameplay. Like maybe like you'll shoot down a balloon and it goes into the water and that stresses you out of it. But never would I ever dream about like doing an island tour and just like talking garbage about the creator. But I feel like I've reached a level now where Jason knows that he's torturing me. I know I'm being tortured, but I'm just grateful because at the end of the day, not having someone reaching out to us and asking us to do levels and insisting on it and asking questions about it, like it's I feel very blessed in the fact that we're even being asked to do levels. So I do appreciate it, even though if I died tomorrow, I think Jason would be at least 70% culpable for it.
You just heart can't take anymore.
Yeah, so thank you. Okay, now this is one that I think I'm going to keep anonymous. Yeah? Anonymous? Anonymous? It is, quote, I read a comment from a user on YouTube that said that the Mayday Tour Island shows that the developers are able to make islands for usage other than materials, and we should be able to get our own personal separate islands. I personally think that this is a very good idea, and I know what should occur. We should be allowed to buy a private island. So a small island could be 1 million bells. Medium island could be 5 million bells. Large island could be 10 million bells. And for the super rich, massive island should be 100 million bells. Now I think I'm dyscalculus. I don't think I'm getting those figures right. But is that I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
So they said, what do you both think?
I mean, I think that maybe it'd make me happier to have another island. One that is completely empty, so it's not, I have to consider where resident services needs to be. I need to consider leaving room for able sisters in this design. I think it'd be really nice. And Animal Crossing, as we've been saying throughout this video, was something good at this point. And do you know what? People, I don't know, maybe some people struggle with bells, even if it was a paid DLC. Like, conversions to pounds and dollars or whatever for that extra island, I'd do that.
And I would defend Animal Crossing if they made that paid DLC, to be honest, because you've got to consider, if they charge £5, £10 for a second island, yes, that might seem like a lot, but there's people that are literally buying second Switches.
I was about to interrupt you.
Oh no!
And if you're a content creator, it's not that you can cut corners and buy a Switch Lite to do your second island either. There are content creators out there buying second and third Switches because they want more islands.
I love that idea. And one thing I didn't consider was what you said, was that this isn't just a second island like buying a second Switch. This is an island without limitations. Like, not this has to be where resident services is. Like, you got that spot on. And honestly, I think I'm on board with this idea a lot more with that in mind. Because
honestly, it could literally just be you get a DIY where you can build a boat. It stays at the pier and you just sail to the next pier on the other island.
And themed islands would be a lot better as well. Like, we're doing our Gatsby Island right now, and everything's perfect, except, I guess resident services, there's just a place where you start.
I've hidden it behind trees.
Like, it literally, it's a shame that it's there. So, I'm on board with that. I would do that.
The only issue would be if you wanted to visit via Dream Address if you didn't have a resident services. But ultimately, could you not just visit the main island and then use the boat, which I've just speculated you could build?
It would literally be a dream boat.
But
literally, go on the dream boat.
In our defense, as JayBee tells you, like, We have to record past midnight for like background noise and stuff. His jokes are slipping, it's getting late.
No, it's a dream boat. You could go on a dream boat to get to the dream island in a dream address.
Thank you.
And if you fall in the water, then... No, I'm not going to go there. Right. But I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. And you know what? I'm actually going to actively want that now. So that's another thing for me to be disappointed about with Animal Crossing. But I like that idea. And I guess that should about do it for this episode, right? Unless you've got anything more to add. Actually, here's something I would like to add, okay? And I'm going to get a bit upset. So the person that asked this question said, you know, please can you answer that? And this is just going to give away who it was, but, you know, whatever. It is rare that I ask more than one question. Now, oh my gosh, honestly, a lot of people I think are too nice to us, too nice to content creators in some respects. And this is just how things that I want to work on the channel, like don't apologise for asking more than one question. Like, it honestly means the world that anyone's asking half of a question for us to answer, because that's just amazing. And like, people when I'm premiering that come into the video like 2 minutes late and they're like, sorry I'm late. And it's like, don't ever apologise for being late to a premiere, you know, on this channel or anything. Because just you turning up for a split second, even if it's to dislike the video, honestly, that's just amazing that anyone's giving us any time of day. Like, please, just PSA to everyone watching. No one needs to apologise for being late. Any interaction we get, I think, is well appreciated. So, Millie, anything that you'd like to add?
Don't think so, JayBee. I think that summarises it for this episode. So guys, as we said at the start, make sure you check out our channel where we currently have another giveaway running. Again, check out that incredible episode of Breaking Bells. We're sorry for the entire community. The Animal Crossing has been such a stinker right now. But hopefully, given coding breakdowns and things, there may still be things to look forward to. So, we don't know when to get our hopes up for, but surely something at some point. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, guys, for variety Nintendo content, including Mario, Animal Crossing, and so much more, please like, comment, and subscribe.
JayBee and Millie.